Hey guys, welcome back to another Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Kristen Gormley. I hope your day is off to a really great start. So we've got a few things to talk about today. We're tracking two cooler systems, one for today for the east and one for tomorrow for the Midwest. And there's hail and wind risk with that as well. And the Omega block will return in the next couple of days at the end of the week, in about 3 or 4 days. So we're going to get sweltering temps are going to come back for the Central Plains and the South. I know some of you guys are still hot, but it's going to get a little worse as we get into next week. But relief is coming for the Northwest, and for some of you, you're going to get cooler as some others get hotter. So before we get into the forecast today, we're going on an all-star stadium tour. Derek is in Atlanta. I think we're giving away like 2 Cardinal game tickets, so that's really cool, on August 17th. So come out and see us if you're in the area and get in with those tickets, because that sounds really fun. Current conditions right now, this is that cold front and low pressure system that's going to move through the mid-Atlantic this afternoon, and that's going to pose a threat for severe weather in the New Jersey, New York area and all the way down into the Charlotte and Raleigh area this afternoon. And so that's just spinning away up here, and it's going to actually bring us some cooler temperatures as well on the back end of this for tomorrow. But nothing severe right now, just some isolated thunderstorms and some thunderstorms north of Atlanta that's starting to move into South Carolina. And as the morning gets going, as the afternoon gets going, we're going to see more of those storms start popping up, and they're going to move off to the east. So it'll be an East Coast severe weather day possible, but I'll show you guys those maps here in a minute. So this is that cold front, low pressure system moving off to the east. It's going to continue to move off to the east today and overnight tonight, and that's also what came through and gave us beautiful temperatures here in Oklahoma and in Dallas as well. 88 degrees today right now for your current temp in Dallas, upper 90s for the south. So you guys are still getting those hot temperatures in the far south. These cold fronts haven't really reached you guys yet, but that's just how it is down there. And 80s and 60s off to the west. So we've definitely cooled off significantly in the Central Plains and Northern Plains with that front. These are the dew points right now. This is very moist out east where the severe weather is possible today, so that will play a role. We need that moisture to fuel those storms, so that's going to be good for storms. And then we're drier out west, so that's going to feel really good today in Oklahoma and Dallas and in the Central Plains. So this is the significant hail model. This is how we see those lapse rates are not that great in this area, and that's kind of what's also keeping those hail sizes down in the east today, along with some other reasons. But this is at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and we do see some lapse rates are there, but they're not significantly high in that area. So that's just going to be the story all along the East Coast today. Tomorrow for Minneapolis, different story. Those lapse rates are a little higher for tomorrow, so you guys have a little higher risk for tomorrow for the Midwest, but we'll get into that here in a second. This is our hail map for today for the east. I'll name off some cities here. New York, Atlanta could get some isolated thunderstorms tonight, this evening I should say, and down here further south in Charlotte and Raleigh, and also Roanoke possible. As this system moves off Norfolk to the East Coast. So yeah, we're just tracking quarters, maybe $50 in this area right now, and it's going to be kind of isolated in nature, so a low threat, but there is a good possibility that you guys will see some thunderstorms and those types of events this afternoon, and possible inch to an inch and a quarter. Quarters, $50 this afternoon. And there is a tornado threat further north in New Jersey. It's a low tornado threat. We still don't have those like very strong isolated supercells in the area, but with the winds the way they are, there is a chance for you guys up there to see a low tornado threat this afternoon and this evening. So this is what it looks like on future radar. This system is just going to keep spinning this afternoon and this evening, posing a threat for severe weather up here in Buffalo, New York, and more of those isolated supercells possible here going through New Jersey. That's where that tornado threat is possible when this supercell possibly moves up Highway 495 in New Jersey and parts of Maryland as well, and that's for the northern part of the risk. Southern part near Raleigh, Charlotte, you guys are seeing some isolated thunderstorms north of Charlotte and north of Atlanta. I think Atlanta is going to miss it today for sure. It's going to move off to the east and north of Atlanta. You guys could see some pop-up showers this afternoon, but I think the main threat is going to be further north and east in the part of the East Coast states. So that's just, these storms are just going to keep moving on through this afternoon and this evening, with maybe this evening having some stronger storms along Highway 95 and Raleigh this evening, and it's going to move off into the Atlantic overnight tonight into the evening hours and later on in the late night, early morning hours tonight, and the threat will significantly go down once we get into the overnight hours. So moving on into tomorrow for your Wednesday forecast. So right now I have it at 1 inch to 1.25 inches, maybe some quarters to $half in this area. This could go up, especially in the northeast part of Minnesota and maybe even north of Minneapolis. And there is some uncertainty surrounding the severe weather threat for tomorrow, and I'll get into that here in just a second. But low threat for this for 1 inch to 1.25 inches of hail, but that could definitely go up to a moderate tomorrow. So it's definitely looking like a line of storms is going to come down from Canada and turn into a squall line or a line of severe thunderstorms when it crosses into Wisconsin. And so that's why the wind map has up to 95 miles per hour, because we could see a line of storms start to move through. When we get that gust front, you could have some very strong winds with that going through Ashland. Minneapolis has a chance to see all of the risks tomorrow. Large hail, not large hail, but minimal hail tomorrow possible, and some high winds in Minneapolis is possible. So there is some uncertainty in that in the model. Some of the models aren't very consistent with exactly how far south the line of storms is going to travel, but we do know that it's going to come up from the northwest and move southeast into Wisconsin, and then the severe threat will start to go down as it moves into Wisconsin. And with that low tornado threat in this area, if the winds are strong enough, there could be some spin-up storms in the line of thunderstorms moving across the area. So we'll definitely keep you guys informed tomorrow, and we'll update you guys tomorrow as we get more data and as it progresses. So starting the clock at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see those storms start to come into Minnesota from Canada and move southeast, and then they're going to form into a squall line as they start to move closer to Highway 35. And then this is where that uncertainty is. We don't really know right now exactly how far south this line of storms is going to unzip down into the Minneapolis area. Some model runs are showing that it does hit Minneapolis, and you guys do see some hail and a wind threat for tomorrow for sure, but other models show that it's a little bit north of you guys, and that's what this one shows. So this one shows that line of storms moving north of Minneapolis, and in this area definitely high winds are expected and possible isolated larger hail than what was forecasted before, but we'll update you guys on the hail sizes for tomorrow and the location of the risks as well. So that's the uncertainty with that, and it's going to move into Wisconsin. And we'll have to keep an eye on that and give you guys more of those updates tomorrow. But right now, Minneapolis is on the map because there is a good chance that Minneapolis could at least see a gust front, which is a gust of strong winds ahead of the line, ahead of the storms. And you guys could definitely get that tomorrow afternoon with the way this looks right now. So future pattern here, we're going to look into kind of a more active pattern here in the next couple of days. An omega block is going to return, bringing relief to the west, and then a heat dome and just that sinking hot air to the plains into the central part of the United States. So this is that low pressure system that's going to move through Minnesota tomorrow, Minneapolis tomorrow for your Wednesday. Nothing for the south. We're dry for the rest of the area for tomorrow. And then that's going to move off, and then we have that heat dome starting to build back in to the central part of the United States, and that's going to be where we're going to get maybe triple digits, 105, 106 degrees next week for Oklahoma and Texas. And definitely I'm expecting there to be more excessive heat warnings and maybe excessive heat warnings, but definitely some heat advisories getting into next week. And then that low pressure system out to the west is going to give the people in the west a lot of relief. I know there's excessive heat warnings in Washington right now and parts of the Northwest, so you guys definitely need that relief, and that's coming, but that's definitely not going to make its way into the area. That heat dome is just going to block that low pressure system from making its way into the plains and where we're going to get hot here in the next couple of days. So we're definitely going to get into that blocking pattern here in the next week or so as that heat dome builds back in, and this is what those temperatures look like. So that round of cold air is for the north and for the west, but it's going to be a round of hot temperatures and hot air for the south, for Texas and Oklahoma, and for the deep south states like Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. You guys are going to get that heat dome as we get into the weekend and next week. It's going to be very hot, so expect there to be some warnings, heat warnings and heat advisories next week for the south and for parts of the Midwest, or not Midwest, but the Central Plains. So this is what that extended temperature outlook looks like for August 20th through the 24th. And that's pretty much all the forecast for today. We'll keep you guys updated on those uncertainties about Minneapolis tomorrow and for the Midwest. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And you guys can always call us, and I'll move over here so you guys can see it. But call us at 855-334-4245 and email us at info@hailtrace.com. And go to our website at hailtrace.com. We'd love to hear from you guys, and hope you have a great rest of your day.